Welcome back to the Creative People Show, and I have as my guests right now Randy and Robin, from left to right, Robin and Randy Hoover, who have the duo slash trio RH Silverwood. You sometimes do quartet.
And six
whatever,
people, or
whatever
up to
you
six
have
sometimes.
available to you. Thank you for coming on and
Thank you for having
with
us.
us. And
Appreciate it.
they're going to perform a song here in a little bit too, so we're going to see how that goes with my equipment. I'm not sure. We'll see. Okay. First of all, RH Silverwood. How did you come up with that name?
Well, when Randy and I first got married 12 years ago, he persuaded me to dust off my flute and join him in singing and playing music. And we were going around as a folk duo, and we didn't want to just go as Randy and Robin, so we were trying to think of a name. And so since we're both Randy and Robin,
Yeah.
H. Hoover, that's where the RH came from. And then I play a silver flute and he has a wood guitar, so
Yeah.
that's where the Silverwood came from.
That's
so
pretty
RH
inventive.
Silverwood was born.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, you are, and I don't know how you prefer it, flautist or flutist?
Either one.
Okay.
I try to do both.
The upper crust, Philharmonic people call themselves flautists.
Well, I'm probably a flutist then.
Kind of like a fiddle player and a violinist.
Yeah.
Playing the same instrument.
Uh-huh.
But she has also another talent that we're going to talk about in a minute. And you say you've been married for 12 years and been playing and singing together for 12 years.
About that
since
long.
you first got married. Wow, that's nice.
And we're still together.
And we're still married.
Yeah. That can. My wife does not like getting in front of the camera or in front of the audience, but every once in a while I can persuade her to come up and sing with me.
Hey.
She avoids. She likes to be on the other side of the camera.
Huh.
All right. What venues do you normally play at, or do you have any regular venues? Or?
Different coffee shops. You got to remember, our group, we're all older in that older, whatever you want to call it, bracket. We all grew up on the 60s and 70s music. So when people ask us what kind of music we play, it's kind of long. We kind of say, well, we are an eclectic folk rock acoustic band.
Mm-hmm.
You can put that in any order you want. That's okay. But that's basically what we are, an acoustic band when we play out as a group or a duo. And we play things like wineries, coffee shops, some honky tonks, festivals, just an assortment of things.
Whatever you can.
Yeah.
How many songs have you written? Or do you know?
That I know of, exactly. Probably in the 25 to 30 range, but having said that, I've co-written, some of those are co-written. One of my good friends, Steve Marsh, who has a book of poetry out there, I mean, we've written a few songs. He's a good lyricist. Robin has written a few songs. She's very good with words, and but probably in that area. We do a lot of covers also.
So you mix them up between originals.
And I remember the day when you thought of changing up a cover. That was Sacro Santo or whatever that word is.
Yeah.
No, you always had to do it.
Exactly.
What I like seeing now is more people, they can accept the fact that it's okay to change up a song. As they say, own it or do it your way.
Yeah.
And so we do take liberties in that regard, because which is about the show, creativity, rather than just punch that out like a cover band or something. It allows you to exercise your creativity.
Right.
Yes, our percussionists will refer to some of our songs as our theatrical songs or art songs or something like that. Because Randy does have some that, especially he's written, that could, you'd think Moody Blues or some big production type thing.
Yeah.
They have that kind of feel or potential to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we like the creative part.
Uh-huh.
That's the fun part.
Nice. I saw you when you were a trio with the one lady.
Joni Angelia King.
Yes.
At the Mark in Mount Vernon.
Oh,
wow.
yes.
Several years
that was
ago.
a long time ago.
Why were you there?
I was there. I think there were several acts
Yes, there
going
were
on.
several acts.
I was one of
Okay.
them. You mentioned, I did not know this until just now, that you're a dancer, a professional dancer as well.
Dance was my first thing, not music and not singing. Of course, I played violin from 3rd grade to 8th grade, and I'd taken baton lessons being a dancer. I loved baton twirling too, and I wanted to twirl for the high school band, but he said, you've got to march in the band first. And so, kid of the 70s, loved Jethro Tull, went home, told mom, I joined the band, I need a flute. And of course, with it being a treble instrument, I had no trouble going from violin to flute.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, dance was my first and foremost thing. And of course, there comes a time when it doesn't look so good to be the old dancer on stage. You do more choreography and things like that, which I've enjoyed too. But because of some injuries and stuff, I've had to take a few steps back.
Yeah.
And then Randy getting me involved in the music also kind of took up some of that time. So
Dancers who are really good interpret the music
oh yeah,
with their body. And I believe good singers and musicians interpret the music with their instrument and their vocals and their body, their facial expressions and so forth. I've told people I don't just play and sing music, I feel music.
you have to.
It's part of me, it's part of my DNA, first of all. Both sides of my family, on my mom's and my dad's side, all played music and sang, and so when we all got together, it was like a big, hootenanny, hold down.
Hold
Oh
down.
yeah, yeah.
So mostly, back then it was bluegrass and gospel and country stuff.
Which I love.
But yeah, and I broke away from that somewhat, but I still play it in the show down in Branson, and I play some styles. It still comes back to me. I try to get away from the country sound, but it sneaks up on me. And some of my songs I write, it comes out. Just like my accent. You would not know I was born in Texas and grew up in Arkansas.
No, you
if
wouldn't.
you were listening to me right now. Now, if I get back when in the show, I get back to my southern accent, like I normally, my
Like
dad
putting on a
dad
bow,
talks
isn't it?
like this right here,
Speaking
did-
of the performing, it's so
Yeah.
funny because I told Randy, I said, well, if I'm going to be singing, I wasn't trained to do that. So if I'm going to be singing, I want to take lessons. So I took lessons from a very well-known professor at the MSU, and I had to be in this recital.
Yeah.
And so they put me on stage, and they stood me by the piano, and he said, put your hand on the piano and sing your song. And so I'm up there with my hand on the piano, and the piano player starts playing, and it's a song from Cinderella called
Oh.
In My Own Little Corner, My Little
Oh.
Chair. So, of course, when the music started, I'm like turning to the
You wanted to
audience and
move.
interpreting the song. He goes, what are you doing? Stand. Put your hand on the piano. Do not move. And I'm like, I
it's so
can't do
hard.
this.
Yeah.
I mean, even, the twirling, I don't know if you noticed when we were at American Legion and we do Sandman by America,
Oh,
I
yeah.
twirl my flute.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, so
I love that
it's,
song.
yeah, it's not even fun if you can't express it.
Yeah.
Good. Don't listen to our interpretation. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we got correct.
That referring to how you kind of make a song your own.
Definitely.
That's an example of when we do that song
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't sound like America. But people, we get good kudos. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it always gets good applause.
What, since you both have been in entertainment for quite a while, what advice would you give to younger folks or people who are maybe older and want to get into entertainment in some way or another? What's some advice you'd give to the viewers regarding that?
me?
Or
Well,
words
here,
of
okay,
wisdom?
Steve, I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. I've kind of joked around all my life. I'm 68 years old, representing that whatever level of age that I pretty much consider myself a musical hack. Okay, in a way, not formally trained. I like maybe it's a little bit of ham. I like entertainment. I like getting up. I'm not. It's more of a hobby type of thing. There's different levels of entertainment, putting on shows somewhere. We're kind of more on the agenda of being a hobby.
Yeah.
We're working at maybe being professionals, but so it's as far as giving advice, maybe give a little advice in songwriting, maybe something like that. But as far as getting yourself out there and trying to make a career out of it, you might have to ask the young lady who's on her way, who's starting at a young age, as opposed to us who, and you know the difference between a professional musician. They get paid to play, whereas a hobbyist, we pay to play. So we're kind of, but we're working at getting our music out there. But as far as advice and writing, personally, I always found it very hard to say, I'm going to write a song, this is the subject, and I admire people who sit down and pump out a song a day because that's their job. You know, and I just admire them. I usually get lucky, like the young lady before, she falls into a chord pattern and then finds a hook line and then maybe comes up with a theme for the song, and then it goes. Mine tend to be that way. I've had a couple songs that have been written over a period of 2 decades, 2 or 3 decades, because I started long ago, but they're always in the back of your mind, and then one day you do develop them. And then there's another song I do called Morning Rituals, like I wrote in 5 minutes getting in front of the mirror, because it's about morning rituals. And so it's the one thing I would say, though, if you're inspired with a phrase, a word, a hook line, write it down. Put it down. Because we all do that. We'll be driving along, we get an inspiration, then we go home later in the day, we go,
What was that?
What was that?
I forgot. It happens all the time. And so that'd be one of the main things. And it's hard work.
Some people keep a notepad by their bed. You know, when they wake up and they write it down. Then they go back to sleep and get back up and they go, I can't read this. What did I write? What does that mean?
And one thing, I found about trying to write songs, and is you got to be able to deal with the truth when you write songs. Because sometimes I want to write a song, and I go, I better not write that. That's just being a little too honest. And sometimes you have to be. But I find that's kind of an interesting thing.
I have a couple of really honest, raw songs that
hard to write.
If I tell the backstory behind it, people understand it. And you write too. You write as well. What's your process?
I've always loved writing poetry. And so when I was in 8th grade, I wrote a poem. And my 8th grade English teacher just happened to be a musician. His name was Don Sharp. He had a band called the D Sharp Band. And of course that was back early mid-70s, and
D Sharp Band.
So
there's no D Sharp.
I know, that funny. He called it the D Sharp Band.
I just thought of that. Wait a minute. Could you call it C flat? No.
Might as well.
He took one of my poems and he put it to music and he played it for the class. Of course, as an 8th grade girl, I'm just like sinking in my seat. But you know, later I thought that was really cool. But I've always loved poetry and have written and written and written, and Randy started putting some of mine to music, kind of like Mr. Sharp did. But it usually is something I relate to.
That's like when people advise people on writing books or novels, write what you know. At least start from that point, and then the creative process can take over, and you can think about other things that you see and other people that may not be directly related to you, but what other people might be going through. Anyway, go ahead.
The one song that we do that I wrote called Walk Away actually was about a friend and I who split ways because of, there's just some people that suck all the air out of the room. And so I had just hit the limit, and I was mowing the backyard, and I could hear Gwen Stefani's voice singing these words to me. And by the time I got done with the yard, I had the song. I immediately went in and wrote everything down immediately, and then showed it to Randy and kind of gave him the idea, and he finished coming up with the music. And now that we actually have 6 people playing with it, or 5 people playing with us right now,
Oh,
and
so there's 7 of you on stage now?
sometimes
Something
6,
like that.
6,
Wow.
yeah, and
What are the pieces? What are the
we
instruments?
have Jeff Gouge on percussion. He also plays with the Missouri Jazz Mojo.
Very
Right?
talented.
Mhm.
Very talented, and he just put he just really brought some stuff into that
Yeah.
song.
We jokingly call him our musical director.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then Jesse Owlsley is our bass player at this time, and
Yeah.
he's very talented. He sings and writes, and he
Yeah,
does
is
a
it
Irish thing.
upright bass or
Upright.
He does electric
Banjo,
upright banjo.
mandolin.
Ukulele.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
he's very talented.
Kilt skirts. I mean,
He can't. They do. He does an Irish thing, and then Paul Mueller, who also plays with.
not the
Not the same
tanks.
Paul
No,
okay.
he's a harmonica player and
Vocals.
singer, and then of course Randy and I, and
Nice.
then Juanita
Wow.
Lee, who has done bluegrass. She has a bluegrass group called Blue Train. She
So
grew
you
up
just
singing.
stole a lot of people from other.
Well, we
other
all
bands.
play
Everybody
with other
plays in it,
people.
yeah.
Everybody plays with everybody.
You know
I
how
know.
it goes.
The drummer in my band plays with 2 others, and my lead guitarist plays with another band of his own, and so yeah, I understand.
Yeah, and I don't know how they all do it because it's like this is how I know we do the song.
Yeah, yeah.
And if they do it a different way with somebody else, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that can. Yeah. So you got to practice together. And
Yes,
that's the hardest
and we
part,
do
getting
once
people
a week, and I cook for the
Wow.
band
Nice.
every Sunday.
Maybe I should do that.
My dad was a chef, and so yeah, I like doing it. As far as advice too, I would say don't let age stop you.
Yeah.
You know, I don't dance as much, but it's because I've had I just broke my ankle last fall, and but I do.
Healing up.
It's healing up, but it's
Slowly.
slow.
I
But yeah,
understand.
I mean, I still like to get out and dance when I can, and
Or down here and down south, you're a dancer.
dancer.
A dancer.
I dance as much as I can. I got roots in Arkansas and Texas too.
All right.
I try not to sound like it.
Nice.
We're going to work in a song. She still can
Yes,
dance some.
yeah.
And tap dance. One of the things we're thinking about doing is out of the blue, have her stand up and just start doing a tap dance.
Oh,
Oh
nice.
yeah,
Just-
I just
yeah,
can't wait.
just
Just gotta
do
get the
something
ankle
like
sealed
that.
up a little
Yeah.
bit better, but
I know a
yeah.
few tap people down in Branson. They're really good.
But don't let age stop you.
Yeah.
You know, get out there and have fun, because if you're having fun, everybody else is going to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not trying to get a Grammy Award or something.
Well, just
We're
like
having fun.
in the acting field, I do music and acting, but look at me. I'm a 58-year-old fat balding man, and
You are not that.
We sure are rolling.
and I just booked my 51st role in acting in a feature film that's being shot here in Springfield. Have you run into any ageism in this industry? People who would not hire you because you're an older.
Possibly.
Yeah, you can't really prove it.
You
Really.
can't
Right,
prove
but you-
it, but yeah.
Right. Well, I don't think, we're an eclectic, acoustic, folk rock band, so it kind of gives you an idea of what we play.
Mhm.
So we're not going to go, you got to kind of try to find
Yeah.
the right
The audience, yeah.
Outland
Uh,
Ballroom probably wouldn't want us.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether, as far as we've had missed out on a gig because of our age, like you said,
It's hard to prove.
hard to say.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
Yeah. I know it happens in acting, but then again, the casting calls line out what
Yeah.
the age range that they want you to look like. Now,
Uh-huh.
in acting, it's not how old you are; it's how old you can look. You know,
Right.
How young
How
you
young
can
you
look.
can look, right.
I can play anywhere from late 40s to early 60s
Mhm.
because I'm right in the middle. Now you're going to play a live song for us. Are you going to use your flute?
I am.
Oh, nice. Now, and I'm sorry, I'm thinking about technical things at the same
Sure.
time. My brain, I'm a little ADD, which stands for attention depth. That's a nice top. What was I talking about?
Music.
Yeah, your song.
Okay.
You're gonna do a new, not a new song. Is it a new song?
No, it's not a new song. This first it's called Sharon's song, and
Okay.
that I like to do.
Tell me about it.
Well, my brother is a missionary, and he was out in California, and he said, this is back 10, 15 years ago. And he sends me out those old green and white computer IBM, and he had,
Yeah, I remember
and he had written out this.
I'm an IT guy too, so
Yeah, you can relate. And he sends it out to me, and he'd written this very nice poem to his wife called Sharon. And then at the bottom there was this little, when praise and worship songs are becoming real popular, and a lot of them only had 4 lines, and some of them. But so he wrote 4 little lines on the bottom, and then he mails that out to me, and he says, "See if you can put some music to this." Well, of course, I thought it was the big long poem to his wife, and I actually did put some honest work in that. I deliberated, modified, spent about 72 hours, put music, and then he comes back from California, and I presented to him, and he goes, "Wow, that's really good, but I just meant those 4 little lines on the bottom." And I go, but it turned out, I guess, to be a valid song, and that's we can perform that one.
Nice. What's the second song you're gonna
Well, this other song is kind of one of my personal favorite ones. It's called Street of Blues, and Robin mentioned earlier about going down to Helena to go to the King Biscuit Festival, which I initially went.
Helena, Arkansas?
Helena, Arkansas.
Okay, not Montana.
No, not Montana. That'd be more cowboy songs. But
Yeah.
but we went in the heart of the Delta land, the blues and all that. And so we went to the festival, and Helena has the main street where the festival is Cherry Street. Well, the festival goes on Cherry Street. You got to pay to get in. It has all the glitz, all the lights, all the stages, all the big productions celebrating the blues, making some money. One street over is Walnut Street. So I would go over to Walnut Street and walk up and down Walnut Street, because that's where, to me, the people were out in front of their stoops, out in front of their homes with their barbecuers. They would put out homemade goodies on their folding tables, sitting around playing the guitars. To me, that was the real blues.
Right.
That's where it all started. And to me, it just kind of, there was a lot of this irony to the whole situation. And so I came home and I wrote this one song called Street of Blues that's just personally one of my favorites. If I may, real quick, I got a funny story. We went down there for one of the festivals, and Pine Top Perkins was, he was there. I won't go into all the details, but we happened to go to a restaurant. And as we got there, Pine Top Perkins was coming out. And if you remember, he likes to wear those red outfits, the red hat, and he stands out. And a real nice gentleman. And as he was coming out of the restaurant, we were standing in the lobby, and people were cheering, people were clapping, and he's a little bit shorter than me. And as he walks by me, he's real old now, he takes my arm, he pulls me down, and I'll never forget what he whispered into my ear.
What?
He goes, the big butted woman. I got to talk to Pine Top Perkins.
Don't know what all that was.
I don't know what all that was, but I get to say he talked to me. But anyways, that was just one of the funny things that happened down there.
Nice.
It's a great time if anyone gets to go down to Helena. It's usually in the fall.
Well, one of the neat things, Steve, what they do is they have the festival in Helena. It ends on Saturday night. Then Sunday afternoon, a lot of the artists that choose to stay around and the people that put on the festival, they go over to Clarksdale, Mississippi. It's about 45 minutes away. It's an afternoon. It's like a post or after little miniature festival for the workers and artists. So you get to go over there and you actually get to hobnob with some of the better known artists if they stick around.
Nice.
It's a big jam session.
And doesn't Pine Top Perkins have a
And that's,
foundation,
it's
have a
actually, he has
competition
a
or something for the younger
it's
kids
called
or
the
workshop?
Plantation, I believe, so he was really active. But that was kind of the neat part about going down there. It was kind of 2 things, the main King Biscuit Festival, and then if you went over to the Plantation, more intimate.
They have very large biscuits there. Is that
You could fall into it.
Well, they have the best muffaladas I've ever eaten.
yeah. Wow.
Across the land, under mountain passes, 'neath hanging branches of pine and cedar wood, down rivers where sunsets lay, up night-shrouded paths into day, from place to place, from town to town, strange sounds, strange sights, strange eyes that greeted us with hopes, tears, and frowns as we shared God's love on scarred and sacred ground. And you have stood there beside me, and you have knelt there beside me too. And as we travel through cities and countryside, I've been blessed to have you close by my side, my help, my friend, for the many years and long hard miles. I thank you for your touch, bless you for your touches and your smiles, and giving me your unfailing love. Truly I'm a blessed man, for you are my steadfast heart. And you have stood there beside me, and you've knelt there beside me too. And as we travel through cities and countryside, I'm blessed to have you close by my side. I've been blessed to have you close by my side. Trying to feel for a time I never knew. I hear the music a block away, but it's here my feet seem to want to stay. Just trying to understand a time I never knew. Black Walnut Street of Blues, share with me something as I shuffle my shoes. Black Walnut, you gotta tell me please, do we ever overcome these blues that bleed? I'm walking down this street of blues. My soul is heavy now, I'm somewhat confused, just trying to reconcile with the time